All right, well, the time has come. Can I take this 83 EZGO junk and bring it up to 2020's standards? We've got a new Go pedal to install and figure out. We'll get that in today. And then we'll make heads or tails from this wiring harness that I got from Golf Carts Modified. We'll go through that. And hopefully by the end of this video, we're driving this thing. Let's get started. So here's what I've got going on inside. Put these plates in here, they're just welded in. It's actually extra support for this bottom corner too. I'm gonna be able to mount the controller directly here. Toe run switch will go here. I have test fit those, they're good to go. I put this little side support here. The controller will mount right here. This is just a piece, I spray bombed a little bit of this, that's why some of it is painted and some of it not. I'm gonna do a full mock-up because I have other things for the air ride that we're gonna need to figure out yet. And I didn't want to start spray painting stuff just to have to, you know, grind it down. I did spray a little bit of this just to see what it would look like. And then I came in from behind and welded a little bit more. But when you open the seat, I want all of this to look nice and fresh. But then obviously the rest of it, we're gonna leave like that and like that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with what I built underneath this thing to hold the Go pedal, because it's a different application than what we had before, right? Here's our pedal from before, because this was, I think it's called series, right? Where the pedal just sends a certain amount of electricity. I went to go grab a couple of the parts that I thought I might have still had. I only have the shifter left. I threw out the rest of the pedal mechanism after this. So that's all I have left of the old drive system. But we're going to go from this to this over here. Now when you buy this pedal, it came with this different harness, which has a different package. So I actually bought, there was a recommended piece for this that will actually connect to the Golf Carts Modified harness. So briefly on this, the only thing I'm really that concerned about are these three. I think I know where they go, to the Curtis solenoid I have. This is the solenoid we got. Obviously the Navitas kit. We've got the buzzer, and I only got the buzzer because I want to be able to program, and you have to have this, I guess, to be able to program the Navitas. Forward, reverse, and then this is the key that I got for it. I'm going to mount the key probably up front, the buzzer up front. I would like to keep this at the leg. But the rest of it is all very much plug and play. It's really just these three. Oh, where's that orange one? And this orange one, I guess I got to cut that end off and put it to the negative terminal on the battery. I did contact Matt over at Plumb Quick Motors, and they helped me out with all of this. He was like, here, buy this, this, and this, and then I bought the Navitas from them and a couple other things, and he was super helpful with this. So definitely kudos to Plumb Quick Motors. They helped me out a lot here. He was also the one that said, yeah, that motor will fit on this 88 rear axle as long as it was 19 spline, and that is what we have here. So the motor, you guys have seen, if you've been following this build along, the motor does go on there. I'm not worried about that. Get this out of the way. Let me just show you before I bolt this in, because once I bolt this in, I'll be able to see this. Let's just zip this off quick. So here's the original. This is what came with the pedal. And then I just had to kind of unscrew this guy into here and feed those wires back in and just plug everything in the same where it was. This second harness is the same colors. So just, you know, you took out your red, your black, your white, your green. I hooked them all up to the same exact place that they were before, and that's it. flipped it up here on its side just to show you what's up. So this is, I made this earlier this summer. It's got the two little tabs. I'll be able to bolt the pedal group right in here. I did have to widen this up a little bit. That's me blowing a hole in it with the welder. This is the brake cable holder that we had to make. I'm going to put the brake cables in today too. A little bit of what the floor looks like. Supports, there's the hole, right? So that's going to be the battery support. That's the back ones. So they are in a 90, a 1x1 90 degree. I have had some pretty good luck getting the motor in and out of it. So I'm going to put the motor in while it's laying on its side too. You just take this wheel off and I'm able to kind of just set it down and it slides down. So we'll put the motor in, brake cables, and the pedal. Flip it down to the ground. Brake cables are on. A little bit worried about this. Gonna make sure that I keep that away from that tire because right now as it sits there it's hitting, but we'll have to figure out what orientation we need to put that in. We've got these clips, so we'll eventually attach it there and make sure we're keeping it away from the wheels. I think I'm gonna come that way. I don't think I'm gonna be able to come in here. But I mean, we could try that, but I might have to try that really. We'll have to see. Maybe go on the inside. Anywho, these are in. This is your adjustment for this one. It's a little bit easier than the precedent because you don't have to take the floor apart. It's all right here. This is the original piece that was on this cart, so I'm just kind of going right back to that. This will be able to use the brake release, so it'll act the same as it did before. So when this thing locks down, this is the locking mechanism for this one. It will, when you press on the go pedal, it will release. So we'll still have that. But anyway, that's what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and flip it down and we'll start working on it from the top. PS, I had these little guys. Drilled a hole. Should be good there. There's plenty of cable that's like laying down there. Okay, I've been working away. I threw this old mat in there. I cut a little bit out, but that's the fitment there. Tow run, again, I'm going to leave here. These guys are going to be up in the dash. We'll run this under eventually. I'm pretty sure I am correct here. The piece I'm nervous about is these two here. And I'm pretty confident that this positive wire stays on the solenoid there. This is a Curtis controller, or a solenoid rather. Just again, I don't want to flip everything on and short that out. I'm a little bit nervous. So I'm just double checking on some of that. And I think the other thing I have to do, I just have to put an eyelet on this and put it on the negative. Other problem, when I let the air out, the holes I have drilled for the battery already were touching those. So I actually have to move it up a little bit. It's not by much. See that hole right there? Come on, focus. There we go. This hole is the one I had drilled. I had to come forward a little bit. We'll put it in there. The intent is to put the air tank here. So I still have it's fine. I got plenty of room. But the other thing I want to probably check on, I'm assuming I can run this motor sideways like that. And the reason I want to do that is because when I let all the air out, it fits under the top. So that's why I want to do that. Here, check it out. Ooh, here we go. If I could be two-handed. Well, that's the space I have there, but it fits. Everything fits. So that's what I'm happy about under there. Okay, I talked to Navitas. They said to reverse yellow and blue on this Curtis solenoid. So yellow's on top, blue's on the bottom. Those prongs in the back, they're empty. You've got, that's the tow run power switch. That back one is coming from the battery. The front one goes to the controller. I plug the Navitas on the fly programmer right there. I have those at the factory settings. We've got the battery in. I talked to them about this motor being clocked sideways, and they were like, yep, no problem on that. Doesn't matter. The kit came with 5 bolts. I have all of them in and added a 5th. So even though I have it clocked this way, there's actually more bolts holding it in than what comes with it. Just doing a quick final charge of this battery. I was having a problem with the on-off switch. There was no power to the controller. So I had to take that out, and actually I cut the ends off and rewired it quick and stuck that back in, because when I did cheat on you guys a little bit. When I got excited, powered it on as soon as they told me that I was all set, and I didn't have any power here, which was concerning for a second. But then I traced it back to really nothing happening at on-off. So I think the connections on the on-off switch were loose. Took those off, changed them, and now I think that I have the power on. We should be good. It is charging though. I probably shouldn't hit this while charging. Let me shut that off. Charger's off. Battery on, key on. Hear the clicking. It's alive. I just did mess with some of the settings. I set the settings, top speed 30 miles an hour, but we're going to be on those smaller tires. Last thing to do, I'm going to throw this steering column in with the gear that we rebuilt in a video about a year ago. I did have to go hunting for this nut. I couldn't find the last nut, so found one of those out back. I'm going to get this in. Then I'm going to be able to put it on the road. This is from the trailer that we just made. I just threw that on, so we have a backrest. And I did run the wires under the floor and up there for now. I'm just going to tape down the air ride controls so they don't fly around anywhere. I don't want them to get caught in anything, because we will be doing that next, and that's a whole nother process. But here's those controls right here. All that I'm going to bring up front. FNR switch I just taped here for now because I want to have this here, even though there is plenty of cable in that harness to run it up front. If you know, the regular EZGO one is up front, so, but I want to have it here. I like it here in my club car, so we're going to leave it here. I'm going to build something for that. So that's it. Let's do it. I forgot to mention a couple of things. I did fill it up with some gear oil. I'm about 2 low, so I'm going to have to get some more. I said that there was 4 bolts or 5 bolts that came with the kit, and I added a 5th. I meant there was 4 bolts that came with the kit. I added a 5th. This is the one we added. And the battery is bolted in. I am currently putting this 48 volt one in here because, well, Lamnery sent it to us. So here it is sitting in there. I would like to get a 72 volt for this cart, and I think this cart will eventually get a 72 volt battery, but money, right? Those aren't cheap. Tape down the old air controls so they don't get in the way. Look at that. Oh man, we're ready to roll. This is totally truthful as far as... Oh, I got to tighten this up yet. Okay. Totally truthful, meaning this is the first time I've touched it or driven it. Whoa! Yes! All right, brake lock engaged. I know I'm off camera. And then it popped open. All right, I just got to tighten those brakes a little bit. I've got to tighten the steering shaft onto the gear itself. And we're going to put it out on the street. It did a burnout without trying. So that's interesting. All right. I mean, that was not there a second ago. So something I'm struggling with, and you can let me know in the comments what you think. Like, do you paint this? Do you leave the dirty mat in it? Or do I try to make the inside here look new too? But because it's a style that we're doing here, like, I feel like you leave the interior junky too. Again, only when you open the seat, everything looks new, and obviously it drives like a rocket ship is what we're going for. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. You guys seeing this? I mean, there's some dirt under there, but holy cow. It runs! Need my gloves.
Yeah. It's cold out here.
It's cold out here, yo.
Fucking northeast. 25 degrees.
30, what is it? 30 something right now?
Probably.
Feels like a heat wave. All right, here we go. Bye. Probably race this car coming down the road. Off we go again. There we go, let's smoke them. super darty. I've got to work on this alignment. I mean, geez, I hit a bump and the thing almost shot me out the side. So pitch on that one. I mean, this is a solid axle, so it really shouldn't be doing that to me, but I think it's just a toe issue. So we'll get in there and make some adjustments on this toe. I'll look up what the specs are and we'll go from there. I just adjusted the toe about a 1/4 inch, just a tiny hair, and went back through and tightened all those bolts. I did find that I was a little bit loose on the tie rod ends actually, so I actually took my little mallet, I hammered those in to make sure those are set, tightened all that up, and we're gonna go try it again. Sick of snow. Okay, I'm cold. That's enough. Well, there it is, guys. It runs. It rides pretty decent. Every time I made a little adjustment here, it got better, so it wasn't as darty. I think maybe it's darty because the front end is up so high. So with the air ride controller that we're going to be putting in here, I will be able to not raise it up so much, so maybe it won't be. We'll keep tweaking at that, but overall it rides really good. Rides even better with 2 people in it, but very quiet. I didn't hear any rattling and so forth, so I'm pretty satisfied with everything so far. I'll put a link in the description for all the pieces that we bought here, which is essentially that Go pedal, the wiring harness, a couple other little things that go along with the wiring harness, and the Navitas kit. Plus you might have to make some wires. So don't be afraid to bring your old cart up to modern day drivability. Thought it rode awesome. Sounds really good too, so really enjoyed that. Hope you guys had fun while you're watching along. Thank you again. Please remember to like and subscribe. Help us grow a little bit more. And I'll see you guys on the next one where we build the air control system for this thing. Then after that, that's it. Let's put it together and start using it. Of course, we need a couple months before it stops snowing. I need it to get a little bit warmer.